Hello everyone, welcome back to our Let's Talk Design. We have another special guest today who's going to soon join us. And today we'll be talking about architecture and stone. I hope you all are doing great and all fine. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna invite our guest so that we start our conversation quicker and let you know more about stones as we always do on every Friday on our Let's Talk Design. Just give me a moment, guys. Meanwhile, I invite our special guest today. I hope you all are doing fine and you're doing great. I hope all of you have started going back to offices. If you stay healthy. Hi,
Hi, just
how
a
are
second.
you?
I'm good, I'm good.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Just
Great,
getting in. Yeah, oops, sorry. Yes.
great. So, first of all, I welcome you to Let's Talk Design. And thank you for joining our session and doing a small chat about architecture and stone. Before we move on, I'm going to introduce you to our audience who are listening to us right now. A practicing architect for 15 years, Shikha Doogar is the founding partner of R Plus Studio. R Plus Studio is a design and research studio based in Gurgaon and Dubai. The studio works on the idea of collaborative design rather than one right solution. They also engage in a process that explores possibilities and strategies, which refines programmatic norms. They also believe in small dialogue with strong, interaction with clients, resulting in architectural solutions of great eminence and performance. I hope I haven't missed out on anything.
No, no, you haven't. That's good.
Great. I welcome you once again to Let's Talk Design. So today we'll be talking about architecture and stone. Like we already know that you are an expert in this industry. So what are the qualities of natural stone that makes it an elegant choice for an architectural design compared to other materials?
See, I mean, you know, we have seen stone around for centuries, right? I mean,
Right.
stones have a personality, a certain individuality, just like us human beings, like how we have our
Correct.
own unique features. And stones exactly like that, they're like this breathing material which can make or break a space, kind of a thing. Um, and and the beauty is that they age over time, and they
Yeah.
continue to make buildings timeless. um, we've seen the red sandstone, at the Humayun's tomb, which is so beautiful, and it's been there. And similarly, how Mies has used the travertine at the Barcelona pavilion. So even though it's such a solid material, it's so tough. Like but it has the ability to, make things look fluid. Like at the
Right.
Taj Mahal, when you enter, and there's this whole awe experience, because when the light shines over the white marble, it's almost like the structure is floating.
Right.
Similarly, recently, I think in Abu Dhabi, they tried to do that with the Abu Dhabi Mosque, the Royal Mosque,
Yeah.
which is so beautiful. You know, yeah, and Bernini, he's done some amazing things with creating those folds with stone.
Shika, I believe you're not audible. Yeah.
I lose you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, now you're audible. Yeah.
So, so the like I was talking about Bernini, and how he's explored the folds in the stone. Like he's created these folds. They're
Yeah.
almost like as they're real, right? They look like fabric. So yeah, I mean, like you can do amazing stuff with stone if used, you know, in the right way.
The
And of
right
course, we
way.
see a
Yeah.
lot of interior and architecture, and both. So I don't know. I mean, I can talk about. I can keep on talking about this thing. In
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
architecture,
totally get. I think it's one of an endless material that you can keep talking about. So
yeah.
yes, True, true. Also, like, natural stones have their own uniqueness. We've seen it over the years. How can the quality be incorporated in response to, literal as well as abstract contextual characteristic?
See, typically we get stone in large slabs, right? I mean, that's how we get it
Yeah,
from the quarry.
yeah,
And they all come with these beautiful veins. Some have veins, some have some other kind of pattern making going on within them. So, to create a very classical and traditional look, you can do the book matching, which is very
okay,
straight and standard. But then there are many other ways to use it where we don't cut it, we don't try to book match, but we start, laying it diagonally, or you do like a brick
yeah,
pattern kind of a,
yeah,
where their own little thing, and this movement that you can create within the flooring or the walls, or wherever,
correct.
exploring that abstractness that comes so naturally within a stone, because no two pieces are the same, right, within a stone.
True,
So
true.
yeah, but one thing that I always feel, which is most important, is that we as architects should go and select our own stones, and not leave it for someone to just deliver it to us,
Sure.
because
No, no,
that
that's
would be
true.
that would be the key.
Sure.
So
And
yeah.
as an expert, if you had to share some insights with respect to using stone for architecture in extreme climates, what would that be?
So, I mean, see, we know that stone has, as a property, has good. It's a good source of thermal barrier, and especially we've seen that the old houses or the old havelis done across Delhi or
Yeah,
across the Rajasthan are of stone. Um, it acts, in harsh weathers, it can do both, right? It can keep the cold. If you use the sandstone, or if you use limestone, it acts both ways, right? It can keep the
yeah,
heat
yeah.
out, and keep the cold out. And then of course when it gets super hot, a lot of people like to do flooring with marble or something, so it keeps the floor cool. So
Correct.
yeah, I think um, stone definitely has these properties, uh, to be used in many ways. And of course, it's such a low maintenance material, right? So it's easy. There are no like ye mat laga, don't put this or don't put that, on a stone.
So, when you work on a project, okay, do you also look at what kind of stone you have to apply on what area, whether is it an exterior facade or is it an interior space that you have to apply? Because does that application also differs?
Yeah, I see. Like I said, stones have their own personality, right? And they can be used, to contextualize your work. So, for example, like
Right.
we've done a few buildings, let's say in the Gulf, in the Middle East, and
Mm-hmm.
we have a backdrop of the sand dunes at a lot of places, like, because
Right.
before they become before the Arabs transform their landscape, there's always sand in context that while we're working. And the sandstones, like the Saudi sandstone, is so beautiful that if you do that as a facade or something, it kind of just merges with the sand, with the light, the kind of light that is over there.
Yeah.
And of course, like we just discussed earlier, that it also acts as the thermal barrier, keeps the
Correct.
you know
Yeah.
space.
Yeah. How different is the quality of stone in the Gulf and in India? Like you've worked on both the sides, so you would know better.
Uh, you know what? It's all good. Like we've used the Saudi sandstone, the limestones. Um, they're extremely wonderful. Of course, they're all soft material, but if used properly, then we've used Dholpur a lot, on our claddings. In fact, at a project in Greater Noida, we've used it as a backdrop where we used granite for
Oh,
cladding. And
nice.
so there's a little ramp in the school that you come down, and the entire building is white, and we just have this one monolith which is black in color, so it acts like a backdrop. So you
Oh,
can use anyways. I've done a little school in it's a adaptive reuse building in Nimbahara. It's a small
okay.
town near where the
Okay.
local stone. So the original building had a bit of local stone in it. So the new building also, we try to make sure that we follow that. The new extension have the
Same
same
concept. Yeah.
edge going on in a very
Mm.
contemporarized manner, but we try to keep that basic uh, pattern of that, that it's kind of a slate-like material that they have over there, naturally occurring in their land, and it's in abundance. So we
Hmm.
try to do
Got it.
that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. Like working. We were doing a project
Yeah.
in Madhya Pradesh, for example, and we try to use Katni marble, which is again a local material from there. So it's always nice to use locally sourced
Yeah.
material. Then I mean, even in our interiors, we do the same thing. I love using when I'm doing some houses. At first, I always try to show the clients all our Indian stones, which are so. I mean, the kind of textures that are available in Indian stones are beautiful. It's just that we're not ready to
Yeah.
explore
Yeah.
Indian stones. And
Absolutely.
when we go to Europe, you see Indian stones all over, which is
Yeah. I
quite
totally
nice.
agree to that. Yeah. Yeah. We've also seen that, a lot of your work revolves around sustainability. So tell us, how does natural stone as a material add value to it?
Uh, the thermal barrier we talked about, of course, it's
Yeah.
that's there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
then it helps. I mean, it's mostly the good properties of stone, which is like keeping things cool. It's great for the landscape, where we can again explore the different textures that are available. Um, and in terms of sustainability, I think, it's super low maintenance. A lot of it, if we use it in a right way, we can even recycle it. So,
Oh,
like I was talking
nice.
about the school Nimbahara
Yeah.
project, where because they were made in blocks, we just took them off and then we relaid the
Oh,
same. Not like we went and got new stones. So, of course, the karigar had to be very careful while he was removing them. But we can reuse stone to a good extent, I'm not the flooring stuff, but the way we
that's a very
use them as, so
interesting idea.
if you use them as blocks,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
cobblestones, right? The cobblestones at one of our sites, we had got cobblestones laid, and they were this solid granite cobblestones. They're beautiful,
Hmm.
So the client was very happy to just like take them off, and we just relaid it. And
Oh,
we just got
nice.
it clean, and it looked fine, So that way, it
Yeah.
can,
Yeah.
it adds to sustainable value, where we're trying not to go and cut a new rock or a new mountain every
Yeah.
time we need stone.
Absolutely.
Like,
You also spoke about textures. Do you work a lot with these textures? Also, like, do you work with variety of materials with stone, or you just stick to stone?
no, we like to work with a variety of materials.
Hmm.
Stone is one of, I would say, and we always like to like kind of juxtapose materials together. So, like I was talking about this entirely plastered blocks, because that building in Noida is a set of blocks, and then there was
Yeah.
this one piece which was like hanging, which was the
Hmm.
granite block. Similarly, at other projects also, see, we can easily create volumes out of stone, right? Like they can be
Yeah.
treated as
Yeah.
monoliths, can explore their colors. Like in our project in Dubai, we have, just loved using this Dholpur. We use Jodhpur teak over here because again, Jodhpur teak has this
Wow.
beautiful yellow color, and it
Yes.
has the veins running. So it creates
The
this
grains are very fine.
yeah, and then because it was a nursery, it added that color and playfulness, while doing its,
Um,
and it did not hurt my client's pocket. That's the other thing, right? So you have to be very wise in terms of where
yeah.
and what you buy stones, source stones without, like, anytime you say stone, they go, "Oh, the project's gonna become super expensive. It's going to go." But it
Yeah.
was not
Yeah.
necessary. Just have to be like, for example, slate is amazing material, easily available across India, across, a lot of places, and it has a gray sheen to it, so when light falls on it, it creates a
Yeah.
reflectiveness. So I don't, did I answer your question, or was the question
As
something
like
else?
you've just spoken about gray, I think gray is really in trend these days. So do you use the gray stone very often these
Yeah,
days, because just because it is in trend, or do you also use it because it has certain qualities that it can sustain for a longer period of time?
I've actually not not paid too much attention to trends in terms of what is in trend. We like we try to contextualize, and if a
Yeah.
building needs something or want something, then we try to give that. So, for example, we did this house for a client in Gurgaon itself, and they had their origins in Rajasthan, but they had moved away from Rajasthan for many, many years, and
Mm-hmm.
they when they were doing that, they wanted to do the Haveli concept. So, but it's a very, very modern house, but it's got
Oh,
the Haveli. So the entire exterior has been cladded with uh, I forget its name. It's a kind of sandstone. It's like a dholpur,
mm-hmm.
but like a very fine dholpur, which has
Fine
textures on.
quality.
Yeah, I know, and we've applied texture on it. So like how you have the leather finish and the you can sandblast it. You can do
Yeah,
so
yeah,
create that created a beautiful light uh, beige color thing, and it looks it's like this monolith just sitting there with a big window,
I'm
trying to
sure.
just
Yeah,
uh, take elements of the Haveli and a little jharonka
yeah.
which is made of wood. So, like it just
Nice.
it can the stone can really put the piece at its center, like by just
Absolutely.
the right and
Absolutely. We were talking about like textures. So one more thing I would like to just ask, you could add on to it. Like what is, as an expert, how can one explore volume, colors, and textures with respect to stone within architecture? Like, could we do it simultaneously together?
Yeah, I mean, see, volumes could be easily treated as monoliths within a certain massing. Colors can highlight certain aspects of your, like, so for example, if you're doing a white building and you just want to do the entire sill in yellow, you can use a yellow
Hmm.
stone to do, or a red sandstone to do that, to create that effect.
Yeah.
Uh, Also, like textures can be used uh, to highlight, certain aspects of the building. Uh,
Hmm.
like I was just talking about the Grand Mosque, right, in Abu Dhabi, which is doing that. It's got this
Yeah.
inlays going on. So now, of course, exterior maybe inlays you're doing inlays in interiors also.
Interiors also,
Uh,
yeah.
and look at the way Maya Lin has used stone, right, in her war memorial. It's so beautiful. It's just one black piece just going through the landscape, and uh, it's completely opposite of what a mosque or a tomb or
True.
something else is doing. They both are creating the setting. uh, when you walk barefoot in a temple, right? It's got this beautiful weathered stone that you walk on, and nobody will realize it's that granite which is being weathered and it's got this soft feel to it.
Yeah.
But now
Yeah.
this we're getting those kind of stones, and we're getting that kind of
Right.
treatment done. Textures when you add to the stone, it takes stone to another level. A
Right.
simple quota. The quota stone can just get transformed, right? As soon as you
Mhm.
give it a river finish to it. So it doesn't look
Absolutely.
like quota anymore.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lastly, like, which element in architectural detail do you think works best to introduce stone for urban landscape? Like, that's one of your expertise. So,
See, stone can be used in so many things in urban landscape. Your signages, like a lot of the signages
yeah.
that are being, you can create these light installations with it,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can,
Mm-hmm.
and so even leftover stone from your project can be used to create these installations. Just put lights underneath it, and it becomes a sculpture. Um, Pedestrian pathways, like beautiful walkways and pathways can be done.
Yeah.
Continuous
Yeah.
bench, you can surface just going up
That's
and
nice.
down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Wayfinding certain trellis. I mean, there's endless number of
Lot of
elements.
ways. Yeah.
Lot of ways. Stone, you know, so stone for me
Yes.
is like this thing. It leaves it within your memory. The way you touch,
Mm.
feel,
Right.
experience, whether it's in a landscape format or it's in a building format or it's an interior. If you remember things, oh, uska white floor, you remember that white floor, you remember the gray,
Yes.
window. So,
Yes.
so stone has that
Those are the things.
capacity to help in our memories, like how
I
we
totally
see it.
agree. I totally agree. But it was a lovely small interaction that we had with you today. Before we sign off, I would like a last word from you for our campaign, Let's Talk Design, a design tip for anyone using stone in their design.
I've already mentioned it. I think one should always go and select their own stone. Don't leave it to anyone else to
Yes,
slab and say use it. Go
yes.
and select, go see, just do a walkthrough of through a stone yard just to see what else is there. Recently, I'm totally fascinated with these Brazilian granites that have made way into the country.
Mm.
They are so exquisite, you know. They're like another. I mean, people like onyx. I'm like, what is onyx? Just use a granite. It's so good.
I'm sure. I mean, it's one of the simplest and the best tip that you've given, because the touch and feel that one experiences with the stone is absolutely a different experience altogether. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Shikha. Guys, if you have any questions to ask, you could please put it in the comment section. Otherwise, we could wrap up this session and you can ask her later on. We'll be posting this video on our Instagram page. And of course, you could ask us, or you could directly ask Shikha if you have any doubts relating to urban landscape and you would want to apply stone anywhere. Thank you so much for joining our Let's Talk session once again. It was lovely having a small, quick, informative session with you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.